the theft of another people's ancestral lands, of our homes, our history and heritage, the theft of our culture, our food, our memories, our cemeteries, our churches, our mosques, our orchards, our olive groves. All so they who have so much can also have an extra country, so that every Jewish person in the world may be accorded an entitlement to dual citizenship, one in their own ancestral homeland and one in mine. This colonial enterprise of population change can be visualized through maps showing the expropriation and the dramatic transfer of land ownership, such that the native sons and daughters of Palestine are now relegated to what amounts to less than 11% of our historic homeland. So, while a mythical narrative of biblical proportions dominates US airways, newspapers, radio, film, and literature, I'd like to give you a glimpse of what they're actually doing. A foundational aim is to create a docile, subjugated native population without rights or without recourse, a broken humanity that's good for cheap labor. They start terrorizing us at a young age. At any given time, Israel typically holds hundreds of Palestinian children in administrative detention, where they are interrogated and tortured without charge, without trial, without their parents, without a lawyer, without an advocate. They're often kidnapped on their way to and from school, playing in the streets, throwing rocks at tanks, as they have a right to do, or pulled from their beds and dragged away in the middle of the night. They're shot and murdered or maimed wherever they stand. Israel systematically targets Palestinian education. They bomb schools directly, close them down regularly, raid them, fire on students. These are only a few examples in a large body of evidence showing how financial transactions from tax-exempt organizations are used to fund ethno-religious supremacy and entitlement, with its consequent displacement and destruction of native Palestinian life. Of known tribes like the Canaanites, the Philistines, the Mamluks, Assyrians, Hebrews, the Romans, they all passed through our lands and became of us as we became of them. And we never left. We were always there, until the turn of the century when European Zionists arrived with guns and hatred and made of us a homeless refugee people, an exiled and an occupied, terrorized people. I will close with one last quote by Zeev Jabotinsky, who, despite his abhorrent supremacist ideas, clearly understood something fundamental about Palestinians. He said this about us: "They look upon Palestine with the same instinctive love and true favor the Aztecs looked upon Mexico, or any Sioux looked upon his prairie. Palestine will remain for the Palestinians not a borderland, but their birthplace, the center and basis of their own national existence. But unlike the destruction of the Aztecs and the Sioux, we are not yet outnumbered.